feel like there probably has been a movie shot here. They've got their own rainbow road. Definitely enjoyed the fish and chips. So, as I love mountains, I really do enjoy that. It's one of the most peaceful areas that we were at. It's right back there. The lights look like they have huge spider webs in the camera. Hey, so we are going through the Akari Tunnel from Goafoss. For some reason, it brought us up and around. I think we did the Dangerous Mountain Pass that you're not supposed to do in the winter. I'm not for sure. I have to look on Google Maps, but we actually got to Akari without going through this tunnel, but we were right next to it. So, and I already paid ahead of time because, just in case you don't know, everyone said you're supposed to pay ahead of time. It's 1,600 krona, and if you don't pay ahead of time, it's 2,500. So definitely worth paying ahead of time. And since we paid for it and we're right here, we decided, you know what, let's just go through it. It's kind of a cool experience. It is just a tunnel. Apparently it saves a lot of time. It's 4 miles long, which is really impressive, or 7.6 kilometers, it said. And we're just driving through it, I guess, for the experience at this point, since we didn't really need to. And I'll show you guys and see what you guys think. After driving all day and hiking a whole bunch, we got really hungry, so we decided to stop by this place in Akari. It was a burger joint, and they had a really good burger and fries, and it was family owned. Had a really cool atmosphere, so definitely would recommend going there. This is the main stretch of road in Akari. This is where most of your tourists are going to be. This is where like a lot of the cafes, bookstore, tourist shops, gift shops, all that kind of stuff is down along this road, as well as also a very popular hot dog stand off to the left here. This road was just outside of our hotel, and of course there was a subway there. I always think that's fun to see. This is the busiest road for traffic in Akari. There's also a few bus stops along this road. This is the Hof Culture Center in Akari. I love where it's located, right on the water, right next to the mountains. It is a beautiful building. I love the design and architecture. Like, this absolutely stands out and is definitely like kind of the key location in Akari. It just draws you in. It's a really cool place to check out, so definitely make sure you do. You can't miss it. A lot of our time in Akari was just spent walking around, checking out the buildings and the city itself. Again, this was over Easter weekend, so most of the businesses were closed, but they do have signs everywhere kind of explaining what everything is and the history behind it. They had some really cool key locations to check out. Walking through the town and just getting kind of a feel for how it would be in day-to-day life was a really cool experience though. And overall, I just really loved the laid-back atmosphere that Akari provided. Even though Akari is considered Iceland's capital of the north, it definitely has a more small town feel to it and has a lot less to offer, at least business-wise. But it also did have a lot more than you would expect a town of 18,000 to have. When I saw this sewing shop, it made me realize how much I wish Angela had come on the trip with me to be able to experience all of this. This seemed to be the main plaza area of Akari. This is where the movie theater was, park benches, food trucks, artistic art on the buildings. This opened up to several different main areas of the city itself. This was the little bakery we went to have breakfast the second day we were there. I, of course, had breakfast of champions, a couple donuts, and a coffee. Seeing a ball hitch on a Tesla has to be one of the greatest things I have ever seen. This is inside the Hof Culture Center, and the first thing I saw was this freaking doll, and it scared the out of me. I don't know why, I just hate those things. They have a very nice dining area here, as well as a very nice restaurant on the upper floor. The building itself is beautiful on the inside, and this is where they have concerts, comedy shows, symphonies. They also had a lot of art on the walls, as you can see. This is all done by local Icelandic artists, and obviously it's free just to walk around and check all this out. These are posters that they had of the upcoming shows. As you can see, it's a very broad range of different things that they were having there. This is just a cool little bridge that they had going over the water along the main stretch of road. It'd be a great place to ride a bike or just take an evening stroll, or to just come out and look over the water and the mountains. So this would be a cool thing to check out early in the morning or in the evening. This is the view from on the way up to the botanical gardens. Akuri is very hilly. This is the Akuri's visitor building. I love how modern it is. I just love modern architecture, and I don't know, this is such a beautiful building. They do have a cafe in there as well. These are photos taken around Iceland from Icelandic photographers. The greenhouses are only open during the summertime for visitors, so we were not able to actually go inside any of the buildings except where the cafe was. It's still a great place just to walk around, go in the cafe, grab a cup of coffee, take in the atmosphere. It's still a wonderful thing that they offer, and it is absolutely free to come here. You don't have to purchase a ticket or anything. This is the Akuri Junior College, which is right next to the Botanical Gardens. This is the main church in Akuri, which is built on a hill overlooking the city. It is a Lutheran church. It was completed in 1940, and the main feature of it is the stained glass windows and the organ, which is over 3,200 pipes. As you can see, it was built in a perfect location overlooking the ocean as well as the mountains and the city itself. This is right outside the church leading down to the main part of the city. Our hotel was the Hotel Kia, which is located right here, located right at the base of the stairs leading up to the church.
Is it good?
I have way too much Pepsi Max diet.
Oh yeah, you gotta get that. There we go. You're impressed with the fact that they're vegan though? They had a way bigger vegan menu than I was thinking.
This is where I had the best fish and chips ever. It's a slightly more upscale restaurant, costing about $27 for the fish and chips, but they also do serve some Icelandic traditional food like reindeer and shark here as well. Hey, just had some fish and chips at the Boughton restaurant. Is a really nice place. The fish and chips definitely on par, if not a little bit better than England's. Can't say that truly because we never did eat at a coastal town in England. I know that's what everyone was saying to do to get the freshness. But the fish and chips here in Akuri are amazing. You could definitely tell the fish was super fresh. I do like the English chips that we had better, but that's just obviously probably restaurant preference and how they cook it. Obviously it was not the English prices, which I think we paid around 12 to 15 pounds. This was 4,000 krona, or about $29. So it's definitely more expensive than I was wanting to pay for fish and chips. But as we found out, almost everything in restaurants are expensive here anyway. And I really wanted to try fish and chips in the northern part of Iceland where they catch it. So yeah, anyway, it was definitely really good. I would definitely recommend it to people that like fish and chips. And the Boughton or the Boaton seemed like a nice enough restaurant. In prices were probably a tad higher, but at the end of the day, just probably a few dollar difference than anywhere else. So anyway, guys, definitely enjoyed the fish and chips. So this is something we kind of randomly came across. We were looking up on Google things to do in Akuri because we had some downtime, and my brother found out that there was like this all year open Christmas village. So we went there to check it out, and this is what it looks like. I think I found the Queen of England.
Dude, there's a cave.
Oh, that's where Krampus lives.
This is outside of the Christmas village. They also have like a little gift shop and local farmers market in the building there. I know some people are fans of advent calendars, and so this is exactly what this is. This is the world's largest advent calendar located here outside of Akuri, Iceland. This is the Rainbow Road in Akuri. Not quite as long or as impressive as the one in Reykjavik, but there are some museums and other things to check out along this road. The sun finally came out the last night we were there, and it just puts Iceland in such a different perspective and makes it absolutely stunning.
So we are leaving Akurey today. Akurey is a very unique town. I can see now why it's called the capital of the North. They've got their own Rainbow Road. They've got their own church on the hill. It's very much has the same feel of Reykjavik. It seems more laid back. You can see the residential. It's also obviously very much a fisherman's village. The boats are a lot closer. The mountains are closer. So in some aspects, I do actually like Akurey better than Reykjavik. They also have a lot to offer for a city of 18,000. There are plenty of restaurants. There's a couple museums. Some of those are only open on the weekends though, so be aware of that. You can also do whale watching here. Apparently they have some of the best skiing in Iceland. So all around, Akurey is a wonderful place that we really have enjoyed. I would recommend spending about 2 days here. 1 day to do the museums and the excursions. Another day to walk the city, try out the food. I absolutely see why they call it the capital of the North. Not only is it the second biggest city, it does have a lot of similarities with Reykjavik, just on a much smaller scale. As like you can see, the church is not as big as I thought. Pictures and stuff make it look massive, but that's mostly because it's just way up on a hill. Another thing I do think is unique about Akurey is it's definitely built more on a hill, and it's nestled a lot more in the mountains. As I love mountains, I really do enjoy that. It's definitely a place though, if you're doing the whole ring road or you're up here in the north, definitely stop. It is a fun, relaxing place. The food has been great. The laid back atmosphere has been very nice after driving for so long. And just all in all, I would highly recommend it. Check out the main sites, go to the main restaurants, botanical garden, museums, horseback riding, skiing. Also, if you're here, there's some things you can station out of and go see. There's Pt5, Goafoss. There's the big geothermal bath like Blue Lagoon. It's even blue, but it's up here in the north. Another thing I want to mention about Akurey though, right now it's like 7 o'clock and there's hardly anyone around. Like this is the main stretch right here. And other than a few cars driving by, probably the locals going to work, pretty much dead, there's no one around. It just makes for a fun experience to walk around. They also have their own airport here for the Iceland Air. So if you, that is one way to travel. If I had known about that ahead of time before I ran the car, I may have done that because it would have been a very unique way to travel around Iceland, would be using Iceland Air. I just want to point out though, it's definitely a very good walking city. I did see that they had a bus. I believe it was free. It said free buses. They have taxis. So it looks like you can get around public transportation. I didn't do it, so I don't know how good or reliable it is. Either way, it's definitely been a fun time. And thank you so much to Iceland for having me. I'm glad I came. It's been great. We're getting to our final stretch of the road. We've got one more stop, another 5-hour drive, and then the next day we will be back in Reykjavik, and in 3 more days we will be leaving Iceland. Sad that the trip is coming to an end, but at the same time, I'm ready to go home and see my family again. So there's the good and the bad. Highly recommend checking out this city. So we made it to the Black Church of Iceland. It's apparently one of the most famous scenic churches, most photographed church in Iceland. It's right back there. I can absolutely see why. You just get there and like you look out to the ocean, absolutely beautiful. Like a lot of places in Iceland, you have the mountains and the ocean right next to each other, which makes it very picturesque. Also at the moment there was this slight kind of like rainbow. You can just see kind of like the rainbow light over there. I think it's just because of the waterfall. Right now there's some trails through these like canyons, or I'm not for sure what these are called, but it's like all these rocky divots in the ground. So again, like always, just stay on the trail. Anyway, so yeah, we just got done driving 5 hours, not just to get here. This was somewhat on the way to our next stop. I'm glad we came to check it out though. There's not much to see other than the scenic view, obviously, and it's actually a relatively new building. I think it was consecrated on land an old church used to be on hundreds of years ago, but the actual building itself was built in the 1980s. Not extremely old or anything to see. They have all these trails like through the canyons and also down to the beach. So definitely a place you could probably spend a few hours just enjoying the peace and tranquility of this area. There's nothing around except right down from the church, I think there's like hotels or apartments. There's actually construction going on right now at this very moment, so it is kind of loud, and there's like crane or forklifts and construction workers making a bunch of noise. But I bet when that's not happening though, this is extremely peaceful. Just come out here and walk, get away from everything. I love how fast this terrain is already changing. It's already going from this kind of volcanic rock, and right now I'm already on a sandy path leading to the beach. I feel like there probably has been a movie shot here. Feels like that. Definitely, I know it's one of those things you have to come and see because everyone does it. But so I think it's like about an hour and a half from Reykjavik. So this could be an easy day drive to get up here. So yeah, getting close to the beach. This is the view though. Was that all like kelp and seaweed? What's
Higher
up?
up than you think.
About 30, 40 feet, yeah.
I really love the contrast here with the volcanic rock, the sand, the ocean, and then the mountains in the background. It just made for a beautiful area. This is the hotel that they were building right next to the church. I do think it's going to take away from the magicalness of this place. This is Pt5 and the Witch Hat Mountain. This is one of the most photographed places in all of Iceland. I will say it was a little disappointing because it does look a lot better on social media than it does in person. It is still beautiful though, and a must-see if you are in Iceland.
So made it to Kirkjavel. It's right there. It's like the Witch Hat Mountain. Or the Wizard Hat. It's kind of impressive. Apparently you can climb it. It takes like an hour and a half, and it looks kind of sketchy. I believe it's fenced off, it looks like now. I didn't, it's too late in the day. I didn't want to risk it, and I'm not for sure on the laws and stuff, so I don't want to do things I'm not supposed to. It's kind of a unique mountain. Honestly though, like the mountains all around it are bigger and more impressive. I think that was just kind of famous because kind of towers up and looks like a wizard hat. Something fun to kind of see and check out though. If you're on the peninsula and you check out the Black Church of Iceland, it's only about 30 minutes away, so definitely just, we're swinging by and checking out. Like I said though, it's all in the mountains, and it's definitely not the tallest or the most impressive. I think that one right there, way up in the clouds, that one really stands out to me. Or it's one of those like very touristy things. I see all the pictures on Instagram. Obviously there's people out here taking selfies and stuff with it, having fun with it. So yeah, if you're in the area, definitely worth checking out. I don't know, 2.5 hour drive from Reykjavik. That seems a little far just for this one mountain, but there are some other things to do in this peninsula. And like I said, the church we really enjoyed. It was one of the most peaceful areas that we were at, all around Iceland, is you have the ocean right there and the mountains literally like 5 minutes away. The same thing up here, as it seems true with most places in Iceland. So I really have definitely enjoyed that. It seems like it's pretty unique, especially I'd say compared to the US, California is about the only state that has that. And the mountains, I think, are still about an hour away from what I've heard, friends that have gone. So we still don't have mountains right up on the ocean. That was Kirkjavel, and we checked out the waterfall, and I grabbed some snaps with the puffins. So
I had a type of shepherd's pie here at this diner. Also, as you can see, they serve it with rye bread. Rye bread is a staple to the Icelandic diet. This is the little fishing village that we stayed at up in the north next to the Witch Hat Mountain. This is a beautiful place, but do not expect much in the way of amenities. There's not many shops or restaurants to choose from. You're definitely up here for the scenery. This is probably my third favorite place that we stayed at just because of how unique it was. I really just love staying in old buildings, and the fact that this used to be a post office I just thought was really cool. And it's kind of a big post office for only a town of 1,000 people. It had a very cozy feel to it. I like that each room had its own private bathroom, as well as having access to a full kitchen if you were wanting to cook. That is available. It cost about $100 per night, so definitely reasonable in Iceland prices. And as you can see, the room was small, but it was very comfortable and provided all that we needed. And again, like most of the Iceland bathrooms, the zero entry shower I just absolutely love.
Woke up this morning in Grundafjord. It's up here, it's about 2.5 hours northeast of Reykjavik on a little peninsula. Like I said, it's right next to the Witch Hat Mountain. It's also relatively close to the Black Church. I don't know, there's something surreal about waking up right next to mountains for me. I just love the mountains. I feel like I'm a mountain guy. And also, I think this is the first morning that we woke up and the sun was up and the weather's actually pretty nice. I can't complain. I'm not complaining. Iceland has been amazing. Even with the rain, it's actually made it very interesting. But man, I miss that sun. That is nice. It's nice not having to wear so many layers and the rain gear and everything. Of course, I could change like in 20 minutes, but it made for a very nice morning waking up and just being able to come out here, walk the area. Anyway, guys, we're gonna be heading down to, we're doing the Blue Lagoon today. It's about a 3-hour drive, so we'll see how that is. I'll definitely do like a little video or post thing of exactly what it's like going through and what you need, and because I've heard so many different things, so it'll be interesting to actually experience it. It seems like it's one of the most famous things to do in Iceland, so that's why we decided to do the Blue Lagoon. I'm not a big fan of doing like all the touristy things, but at the end of the day, it seems like the one thing that, like, if you come to Iceland, people are gonna ask if you've been. So instead of doing the other lagoons, we decided just to go ahead and do the most popular one. We're still looking about a 3-hour drive, and then we'll be in Reykjavik for our last 2 days, which means we will have completed the ring road. I'm interested to see how many kilometers we've driven, and also it's just kind of nice to finish that accomplishment.